Jacksonville State Gamecocks, Kennesaw State Owls is another Conference USA matchup taking place. We've got Jacksonville State 14.5-point road favorites, 48.5 being the total here in this game. This has obviously not been the season that it was last year, at least to this point, for Rich Rod and that Jacksonville State team. So far, 1-3 straight up, 1-3 against the spread on the season. The one win, though, was their last game against Southern Miss, a dominant showing, 44-7. But before that, we saw them get steamrolled by Coastal on their home field, destroyed by Louisville, and lose as short road favorites in Ypsilanti against Eastern Michigan and give up 37 points to an Eastern Michigan offense that really hasn't been phenomenal this year, and they give up 37 points in that game. And then all of a sudden, they hold Southern Miss to 7, a defense that had really been poor so far this season. So we'll see if they can continue to build on that. Tyler Huff, the quarterback for Jacksonville State. The numbers so far this year, they're not terrible. 68.1% completions is good, but 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, not so good. Has made a few mistakes throwing the ball, but it is a team that does rely more on the run game. We know it's a run-first, up-tempo, spread offense that they run here under Rich Rodriguez. The run game has been kind of spotty so far this season for Jacksonville State. They're not running it anywhere close to as well as they did last year. Question will be, can they run it here against this Kennesaw State team? And when you look at Kennesaw State, they actually are superior against the run defensively. It's against the pass that they're weaker. So can Jacksonville State take advantage of the bad secondary for Kennesaw? That's where they've been hurt and they've been gashed more, is through the air as opposed to on the ground. But the problem is Jacksonville State does more of their damage and is a better offense moving the football on the ground with the run game as opposed to being, they're not a great pocket passer, throw the football all over the place type of offense, Jacksonville State. So the matchup here actually could allow Kennesaw to hang. I got to admit, I'm leaning Kennesaw right now in this spot. They're getting over 2 touchdowns. I know they're just 1-3 against the spread. They haven't won a football game yet. And all their losses have been by double digits, including a really, really head-scratch bad one against UT Martin, 24-13 last week in that game. It was not pretty for them against Tennessee Martin. They got outgained significantly, almost 300 yards UT Martin had, outgained Kennesaw State. They gave up 123 yards rushing in that game to Smith, the running back. And 152 rushing yards for the game. So the run defense has been better, but UT Martin kind of spit them up. That's going to have to get shored up. So because Jacksonville State, obviously the strength of their offense is running the ball. I'm still not running to lay 14.5. This is Kennesaw is a tough team to trust, of course. 0-4 straight up, 1-3 against the spread. They just lost to an FCS team, no doubt. But if anything, you're getting more value with them now after a loss like that. And Jacksonville State, I'm not ready at 14.5. This is definitely, I've seen enough Jacksonville State now to think they're not nearly as good as they were last year. Maybe they can flip a switch, but I'm going to have to see it first before I'm laying more than 2 touchdowns on the road with Rich Rod here. C-Mac, what do you think? Jacksonville State, Kennesaw State.
Yeah, that's how I feel. How can you back? I mean, that was a really big win. Can we get back to that? To start the year, we're like, this defense should be the better part of this team. And that defense was awful. Havana. I mean, they're 128, 265 in through the air, almost 200 on the ground, 198. This Jacksonville State defense is like, huh? And that last game was better. It was a pretty dominant win. One thing when I looked at this game with Kennesaw, with this total, I lean under. I don't know how Kennesaw State, if Jacksonville State's going to play well here, how they're going to score. Really, to me, I kind of look at the team total. It should just be right around 14, I'm thinking, with this number, their team total. They've gotten nothing here. It's 16, 10, 10, and 13 against UT Martin, like you talked about. I would lean that way again. I don't know if they get over 2 scores in this game. The offense has just been dry. The quarterback play has been really, really bad, and they're just slow. They're just like, it's just like the offense is tough to watch in this one. And maybe Jacksonville State gets back to the kind of dominant way where they want to run it, and let's see if they can do it. Because Kennesaw, not a very good defense. You mentioned the air's a little bit more, 256, but to the ground, 136. So they should be able to take carry an advantage here. But yeah, I'm not really. I'd like to kind of watch this. Maybe if they beat them up a little bit, or maybe look to their team total over and the Kennesaw team total under. Might be a play for me, during the weekday game here.
Da, 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 da. No, not Star Wars. Pace Wars. That's what you've got in this
Pace
football
Wars.
game. You've got
Jacksonville
Jacksonville
State,
State's going to be, I believe they're still top 10 in pace this year as far as plays per minute. They are. They play extremely fast with this, and they always have under Rich Rod. But Kennesaw State's like the polar opposite. They are very, very slow. They're down near the bottom, I think, as far as plays per minute this season in college football. So one team's going to speed it up. One team's going to want to slow it down. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets the better of it there in that little battle on Friday night.